My name is Mira. I live in a quiet town near the hills. I'm 27 years old. I teach art at the community center. I live with my mother. My father passed away when I was young. I believe in love. I always have. Even when it broke me once. Even when it almost broke me again. I met Daniel during a class trip. He was kind, helpful, always smiling. He carried the chairs, helped clean up. He looked into my eyes like I was the only one in the room. He called me Sunshine the second week. I smiled like a girl in a movie. He said, "You make the world better just by being in it." I believed him. Weeks passed. Then months. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. He brought flowers. He called my mom ma'am and helped her fix the garden tap. He brought me tea when I had a cold. He held my hand when we walked under the stars. It all felt safe. It all felt real. One morning he knelt on the porch. With a ring. A beautiful ring. He kissed my hand and asked, "Mira, will you marry me?" I said yes before he could even finish. We laughed. I cried. He held me. My mother clapped. Our neighbors cheered. It was like a warm sunny dream. I chose a simple beautiful dress. Cream silk. Long lace sleeves. A dress I had always imagined since I was a girl. I even drew it as a child. I kept that drawing in a small box. The week before the wedding, Daniel became quiet. He said work was busy. He said nothing was wrong. I asked again. He just kissed my forehead and said, "You're the only one I see, Mira." I believed him. But something inside me didn't feel calm. It felt cold. The night before our wedding, my cousin called. Her voice was shaking. She said, "Mira, don't panic." But I saw something. I held my breath. She whispered, "Daniel." He was at another wedding rehearsal today, with another woman. I laughed. I said, "That's impossible. Maybe he was helping a friend." She paused. Then she sent a photo. It was blurry. But I saw it. Daniel. In a suit. Holding another woman's hand. Smiling. Smiling like he used to smile at me. I dropped my phone. My hands were shaking. My heart was louder than the room. My mother came in and asked, "Mira, what's wrong?" I couldn't speak. I just stared at my wedding dress, still hanging on the door. Waiting. Like I was. The night before the wedding I didn't sleep. Not even a little. I stared at the ceiling. I stared at my phone. I stared at the photo. Was it real? Was that woman really his bride? Or just a friend? A cousin? A misunderstanding? But my cousin would never lie. And the photo? Daniel was holding her hand the way he used to hold mine. With both hands. With care. With love. The way only a man in love does. Morning came but I didn't rise. My mother knocked softly. "Mira, sweetheart. It's your big day." I didn't answer. She came in with a smile. She sat on the bed. I handed her the phone. The photo. And I said only one word. "Explain." Her smile faded. She stared at the screen. Then looked at me. "Mira, this could be a mistake. You should ask him." I nodded. Yes, I should ask him. I deserved that. So I put on my dress. I didn't do my makeup. No jewelry. No flowers in my hair. I just wore the dress. My mother drove me to the venue. We were supposed to get married in a garden. Daniel picked it himself. I walked in quietly. Guests were there. Some familiar faces. Some not. And then I saw him. Daniel. In a tuxedo. Standing under the flower arch. But he wasn't alone. Next to him. Another woman. In a wedding dress. Her hair was curled like mine. Her bouquet was like mine. And her dress. My dress. Cream silk. Lace sleeves. The exact same design. I froze. My breath disappeared. My hands were ice. Someone said, "Is that Mira? Isn't she?" Daniel turned. His face. His eye. They went wide. He took one step toward me. I took one step back. I said loud enough for everyone. "I thought this was our wedding." But clearly I was just the rehearsal. People gasped. The other woman looked confused. She looked at Daniel. He didn't speak. So I did. "I don't know who you are," I told her. But we have the same taste in dresses. And unfortunately the same man. She turned pale. The crowd whispered. Daniel opened his mouth. Mira, I raised my hand. Don't say my name. You used it enough when you lied to me. The other woman looked like she might faint. Daniel stepped closer. He said, please. It's not what it looks like. I laughed. Then explain it. Please. Explain how 2 women, 2 weddings, and 1 dress are all part of a plan. He had no words. Only silence. The other woman whispered, you said you were single. That was the last thing I needed to hear. I turned around. I walked out. People didn't stop me. They just watched. Like I was part of the show. But I wasn't the bride anymore. I was the ending. And I walked straight into it. I didn't cry in the car. Not on the way home. Not in my room. Not in the bathroom. Not even when I looked at myself in the mirror. Still in the dress. Still holding my bouquet. Still not a bride. But my heart. It was crying so loud inside me. My mother brought tea. She didn't say anything. She just put her hand on my shoulder and left the room. I sat on the floor. I didn't take off the dress. I just sat. And I whispered to myself, I wasn't enough. I repeated it. Again. And again. Until I felt empty. I didn't eat that night. I didn't sleep. The next morning my mother gently said, you should take off the dress. I said nothing. She added, and maybe take off the memory too. But I couldn't. Because it was everywhere. In the way I looked at the mirror. In the way I heard my name in his voice. In the way the dress still fit me but didn't feel mine anymore. Days passed. Friends texted. Some said, I'm so sorry. Some said, you're lucky. Better now than later. Some didn't say anything at all. Daniel called. 5 times. Then 10. Then he left messages. Mira, I'm sorry. It was complicated. She didn't mean anything. Please let's talk. I didn't answer. Not once. Because if I did, I might cry. And I didn't want to cry for him anymore. But late one night, I listened to one message. His voice was broken. Mira, I messed everything up. I was scared to lose either of you. I didn't know how to choose. That made me laugh. Choose. He was choosing between people. Not jackets. Not cars. People. Me. Her. He didn't choose love. He chose lies. I blocked his number. I deleted the pictures. I threw the bouquet into the trash. But I kept the dress. Not because I wanted it. Because I needed to remember what it feels like to be fooled with flowers in silence. Weeks passed. Then months. I went back to teaching. The children's laughter helped. Their drawings made me smile. Their hugs made me feel seen again. One little girl asked me, Miss Mira, are you a princess? I smiled and said, no. Just someone learning how to be strong. And I meant it. I started painting again. My hands stopped shaking. My heart still hurt, but it beat stronger. And one day, I passed by the garden where I was supposed to marry. A new couple stood there. Taking photos. Laughing. I didn't cry. I whispered, good luck. And I meant that too. It was almost a year before I heard his voice again. Not in person. Not through a call. It was a letter. Folded, sealed, and left at the front desk of my apartment building. First, I didn't want to open it. I stared at it for hours. I made tea. I cleaned the table. I even watered the plants that were already damp. But the envelope just sat there. Like it was waiting. Or maybe, like he was waiting. Finally, I opened it. Mira, I don't deserve your eyes on these words, but I'm writing them anyway. Because I never told you the truth. Not fully. Not when it mattered. And if anyone deserves honesty, it's you. My hands trembled. You were my peace. But I thought peace was boring. I chased excitement instead of meaning. I married her 2 weeks after our wedding fell apart. You already know that. What you don't know is that she left me after 73 days. 73. Not even 3 months. I kept reading. She told me she never loved me. Just like the idea of winning. I guess I was the prize. A broken one. I thought of you every day after she left. Not because I wanted you back, but because I finally understood what love actually looked like. It looked like the way you smiled when you cooked dinner. It looked like how you waited for me to come home, even when I was late. It looked like how you said, "I trust you," and meant it. I betrayed that trust. I shattered it like it was nothing, but it was everything. I don't expect you to forgive me, but if these words reach your heart at all, I want you to know. I see it now. I see you. All of you. And I am so sorry. Daniel. I closed the letter. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I felt a strange silence inside me, like the storm had finally passed. For so long I thought I needed answers. Now I just needed peace. A few weeks later, I ran into his mother at the grocery store. She looked tired. Older. She touched my arm softly and whispered, "You were the best thing that ever happened to him. He knows it now." I nodded politely, but I didn't reply. Not because I was angry, because I was free. Months passed. I started volunteering at a community center for young women. Some had been through divorce. Others had faced emotional abuse, cheating, even public humiliation. But when I sat with them, I didn't tell them my whole story. I just listened. And slowly I saw myself in their stories. And I saw hope too. One girl, maybe 19, asked me one day, "Miss Mira, how do you stop thinking about the person who broke you?" I smiled. And I said, "You don't stop thinking about them. You learn to think about yourself more." She looked confused at first. Then she smiled back. A year later I met someone. Not romantic. Not yet. But different. A teacher at the center. Soft voice. Kind eyes. He listened more than he spoke. One day he walked beside me and said, "Mira, you seem like someone who has loved deeply. And lost deeply too." I nodded. "I hope you know that makes you even more beautiful." I didn't blush. I didn't run. I just stood there, breathing in that gentle moment. For the first time in a long time I felt seen. And I didn't feel afraid. Please subscribe to our channel and tell me in comments from where are you watching this video. I never replied to Daniel's letter. I didn't need to. His words gave me closure. But my own words gave me freedom. Now when I look back at that day, the matching dresses, the broken vows, the girl he kissed after me, I don't feel like the second bride anymore. I feel like the lucky one. Because I didn't marry a man who lied to me. She did. And I hope she finds her healing too. Moral of the story. Being the first doesn't always mean you're the one. And being the second doesn't mean you're any less worthy of love. Sometimes not marrying the wrong person is the biggest gift life gives you.